Hello and welcome back. This is DragonLoon and we are back in Space Engineers. Last time we got this very basic starter base setup and we built ourselves a quick scout ship. This time what we are going to want to do is we are going to want to look for a ice lake with a nice cliffside so that we can build a base into the cliff, as well as get plenty of ice for hydrogen and other uses. So what we want to do is we want to get into that right now. However, before we do that, actually, we want to change out some of these thrusters here, or at least add a few more, because if you watched the last video, I had mentioned that the response time for left, right, and front and back was a little on the, shall we say, very slow side. So what I want to do is I want to grab our grinder, grind off these back three thrusters, add in, we'll add in 2 more thrusters, for our left-right movement, which will push these thrusters back a little bit, and then we're going to add in a total of 5 back here and 5 back here, and that should give us plenty of lateral and forward and reverse thrust. So give me a moment to take care of that. And just like that, we have more thrusters. I also did add in a few more batteries just so that we have more power for our flights. So let's go ahead and get on in here. We will go into our control panel, go to our batteries, select all of the batteries on our ship, and we will actually add those to a group called Scout Battery. And that way, in the future, we can just select Scout Battery, and it selects all of them. And we will change that to auto. And then we will exit out of that, undock, and go up. And now if we do that test earlier, now we have plenty of power. Plus we have plenty of thrust one way or another. All right, so let's go into third person and zoom out a bit. And then we need to climb in elevation. Look at that. We have an ice lake right over there. So let's go and see what that's like. All right. So looking at things, it looks like this is a pretty big lake, which means we should be able to get plenty of ice out of it. And it looks like we have a fairly decent cliffside over here. If we go down, we can actually see that this cliff is decently tall. Not super tall, not super short though. Whoop, 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 whoop. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Ooh. Okay. All right. So this actually looks like it would be a fairly decent cliff face. And if we go out here into spectator mode. Okay, so I am having problems with accessing spectator mode. And I don't know why. I hit F9, which I'm supposed to, and I can still control my spaceship without my camera. Let me see if I exit and drop down. Nope, I still can't control spectator. Not sure why. Anyway, all right, so Where was I going with that? I can't remember where I was going with that whole issue. But we can see that this is a fairly decent cliffside. So what we will do is we will come down here to about 10 meters above the ground, and we will add in another GPS coordinate, and we will call this new base. All right. Now, we need to find my ore detector. Okay, it is at max range. And as you can see, there's really not very much ore. It is picking up the ice because obviously there's ice underneath us. So what we need to do is we need to go back to our starter base, and we need to get some components and load this scout up. Now, I say load the scout up because we do have this cargo container that we can carry components in, which we're going to need to be able to start our new base. And in just a moment for you, we will have that base started, or at least the components needed for it. All right, so we are back here at our starter base, and the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to tear down the respawn pod because we can reuse all of those components at the new base. The next thing we want to do is we want to queue up those materials needed for the tier 2 assembler as it slowly loads up. And let's see if we can find that in this list. All right, and it doesn't look like we can do it just by glancing, so let's try tier 2. No. What if we do 2? O2 generator? No, we don't need that. All right, so it does not look like we can do it that way. So what we need to do is we need to go into our G menu and go to assembler and assembler tier 2. What's going to be the easiest way? I think the easiest way to queue up the assembler tier 2 will just be to put it in our hotbar. And while we're at it, we might as well go Refinery tier 2 as well. All right, so we are going to want one tier 2 assembler, and we will do cannot queue all components. Why can we not queue all components? Needs tier 2 motors, but we can do tier 2 motors. Hold on. Okay, for whatever reason, it is not wanting to queue up the tier 2 assembler. Oh, that's why it's not queuing it up. So we need a tier 2 assembler to make tier 2 motors. So we cannot queue up those. So what we have to do is we have to grab the regular refinery again. But this time we are going to queue up 3 of those. And this is going to require a lot of stone. So one thing I think we are going to do is we're going to modify our scout ship by adding a drill. And we will actually do 2 drills. And what we're going to do, if I can get this done, is we're going to place that there, and then we're going to grab our drills, and we are going to attach 1 drill there and 1 drill there. And I'm doing that because this right here is a small storage container that we can link to. All right. And the other reason that I'm doing that is because we need a lot of iron. If we go down here, and actually we can do that by sitting in the seat here. If we go into our production, you can see that we need 8,500 iron ingots, and that's going to take a lot of time if we do everything by hand, getting all the stone. So I'm just putting those drills on there to make it possible to do everything quicker. So let's disconnect from the station, go into our G menu, and go block tools, grab our drills, and put it down here. And what that does is it allows us to just click the left mouse button and activate both drills. So give me just a moment. I'm going to drill up a bunch of stone and we will get going. All right. And I've only been mining for just about 4 minutes now. And you can see that we already have a lot of stone built up with just those 2 drills. And it's a lot more than, or a lot quicker than if I drilled everything by hand. So let's go over here and we will hook up to the station, and all of that stone should immediately be pulled into the refinery. And if we go into our inventory, you can see that it is slowly being pulled into the refinery. So if we go in to the refinery view, you can see that it is slowly pulling it. So we'll put all of that over there and have it start processing. And then while that is processing, we can go. Whoops. We can go and almost kill ourselves. So, let's go. And, ooh, that reminds me, we can't do that and we can't tear this down just yet because we need a medical bay. And that's some more components that we need to queue up. So we are going to need to grab a medical room and an O2 generator, and we are going to need to queue those up. So we need 1 O2 generator, and one medical room. And that should be good. Because the O2 generator will allow us to refill our bottles, as well as produce the oxygen and hydrogen that we need to recharge through the medical room. So, I will see you in just a second. For you, anyways, because I'm going to wait for all of these components to produce. All right, so we only have just a little more than 500 steel plates left to go. However, we are all out of iron ingots. And that's even after I went back for another load of stone. However, that doesn't mean that we don't have enough steel plates for what we need to do, because we have 4,500 steel plates. So we should be more than good to get going. So what we will do is go check on the status of the batteries, and that's not good. They are almost depleted. Why are they almost depleted? All right, so let's set these all to recharge, and they'll be done in no more than 12 minutes. All right, and that gives us plenty of time to do what we need to do. And why won't my jetpack turn on? I have a mod that's supposed to turn that jetpack on as soon as I exit any type of aircraft. All right, so what we need to do is we need to start dismantling things. And what we will start with is make sure, yep, that's empty, and we will grind this down. Then we will take everything out of here. Oh, we don't have more. So we'll put it in there. And it's just going to pull out. So what we need to do is turn that off. And there's actually a much easier way to do what I need to do. So a large cargo container number 3, that is the cargo container for our ship. And all we have to do is find what we need, select that cargo container, and then just simply transfer everything over. And hope that we have more than enough room. All right. Now we can disassemble this. Whoops. Just like that. And then disassemble the assembler. Just like that. And we just need to wait for our batteries to recharge. So let's disassemble these batteries here. And unfortunately with batteries, when you grind them down, you don't get the power cells back. You get everything else, you just don't get power cells. In place of power cells, you get scrap metal. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, hey, what can you do? And then we'll just grind the rest of this down too. We just want to make sure not to disconnect that small cargo container from all of that. That's odd. Now it's saying that it's going to take an hour to recharge all of that? Huh. That's really weird. All right. Well, you know, it is what it is. So let's go in here and turn those to auto. And we'll just disconnect. And now we can grind down all of this. And because we're going to be doing something slightly different over at the new base, we don't need these drills on the front of our scout anymore. Whoopsie. I didn't do that. It was never gone. All right. As I was saying, we don't need those anymore. And we can't get rid of the respawn pod just yet, simply because we don't have another spawn point if we do. And if we die, that's a bad thing. So we will get in our scout here and head over to our new base. All right, and here we are. So when we get out, hey, look at that. It works finally. Not sure why. All right, so let's pull out a bunch of steel plates for armor blocks, and we will set up our base once again. All right. And then we need to go out this way. A ways. That way we don't run into our ship. And then we will go up. To 10, put our little plus, and then we are actually going to add in 4 more wind turbines because we're going to need a bunch more power. So there's 4. We need to go up 2 more blocks and then make another plus and put a cap on it. And then we can go and deposit all of that, grab our wind turbines, and we need 9 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, look at that. We have just enough room. Ooh, no, we don't. Because I grabbed... Ooh, that's not good. Oh. Be right back. Okay. So, in case anybody was wondering, the time that it takes to run 10 kilometers in this game is very long. Because you can only run at a max of 10 meters per second. So it takes a long time. However, now I have plenty of hydrogen, but we still have a problem that we need to solve rather rapidly. Otherwise, we're going to run into the same problem again. So let's grab these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wind turbines. and get those placed down quickly. Because I tried putting an O2 generator down to refill my hydrogen, but I ran out of hydrogen and couldn't get the components. So, now that we have a little bit of power, we can actually reposition this. Because I don't like how that is sitting. So we want to put it like that. And then we're going to take out that one. And I don't have the right components, so conveyor belt, we want a conveyor junction, and we're going to put that in. Oop. And we don't have the right components for that either. We're going to put the conveyor junction in right there. And what this will do is... What? Is allow us to put the medical room right here, and it's connected to the O2 generator, and then we can just simply put our oxygen and hydrogen bottles into the O2 generator and have them refilled. Speaking of which... let's grab this ice, throw it in here like that, and then we can refill our bottles. All right. Now, the next thing we need to do is plan this out just a little bit. So let's grab our medical room and spin that around like that. That way we know where it is. The next thing we're going to want to grab is our large container. Actually, no, we're going to want to grab more armor blocks. All right. So we want to put our large container... let's put it right there. And what do we need? We need interior plates. So let's... okay, why can I not place this then? Oh, because my ship is in the way. Imagine that. All right, so we're going to put the large cargo container right there. And that means we want to take out those, and we'll put a conveyor junction there. Right. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to put a connector there so that we can hook up our ship and get it charging again. That is odd. Why do I have to build that? Okay, now they're getting power. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but that's okay. We got it working now. And There we go. And then we go the scout batteries and turn that to recharging. All right. Well, that was a bit of an experience. So let me build this up. Now what we need to set up is our drills. Now, last video I mentioned that I had a mod that is going to make getting stone very easy. And that is a mod called, if I can type, Drill and Fill. Well, here it's just called Drill System. But it's a mod called Drill and Fill. And a lot of people say that it's overpowered. And yeah, I guess it could be if you use it continuously. But all I'm going to do is use it to build our base. Because it makes nice square holes. And, you know, it just makes everything look pretty. So, give me a second to set that up. Okay, so we have a slight problem. I cannot finish the control seat to be able to set all of that stuff up just yet because I'm out of interior plates. Oh, which is a bad thing. We are going to temporarily install a refinery and an assembler. And then... oh, that is where we can. All right, so hit F8 to go into spectator camera, which is now working properly. And we need to get all of these set up. On one thing, and then we need to turn on show area. Now, if you zoom all the way out, this block here is the area in which those drill and fills will gather resources, but we don't want it like that. And we need to make some modifications because each one is offset just a tad bit, and so it doesn't quite fit. So let me get those adjusted and I'll be right back. All right, so all I had to do was set this drill and fill to a horizontal offset of 0.25 meters because that is what the offset is from here to here. That is 1/2 of a block. And then I set this one to a negative 2.5 meters to bring it in line with this the center of this block as well. Are those blocks 2.5? I think those blocks are 2.5 meters. So it's one block to the left for this one, or excuse me, right, because it's pointing behind me now. And one block to the left for this one, and it centers all on this. Now, what we can do is we can go in and go groups and put area off, increase, decrease, and that was left, right, up, down, front, and back. And then we'll go to bar tool and we'll go increase, decrease width and height and depth. And we're doing all of that so that we can then come out here and we want to shrink down the depth to where it's about like that, and then shrink down the height so that it's like that. Then we need to raise it up to where it is halfway through the blocks. And then we need to bring it forward. Just like that. Now what that will do is it will actually drill out a nice square, or in this case rectangle, that is that shape right there into the mountainside, and it will start our base. So then I need to go and toggle blocks on off, and then we just simply go number 9, and they start drilling. And then if we go into our inventory and look at our cargo container, or excuse me, our large cargo container right there, you can see that it is grabbing a lot of stone already. And is our refinery? Yes, our refinery is already processing it all. And now we can start producing iron interior plates. Or we would be able to, but I think I need to do something. All right, and as you guys can see here, this is the tier 2 assembler, and you see how quick all these components are being produced? It's really, really quickly. Which is one reason why I like this particular mod that gives us the tiered production. So now that we have a bunch of stone, let's turn off the drill and fills. And as you can see, it's making a nice indentation in the mountain face. All right. Now, I did that because as soon as we have that produced, what we need to do is we then need to queue up two more assemblers of tier 2. Okay, so I just realized that I made a slight error in my judgment on what we were building. We do still want to build 6 gravel sifters, so I will queue those back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we still want 3 tier 2 refineries. However, we don't need any more assemblers. Not right now, anyways. So, let me finish the production on these, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so what we're working on here is actually what we need for the refineries. And I think once we get done with these tier 2 motors, we will have enough to do what we need to do. So the first thing we want to do is, of course, grab what we need or what we can hold. And then we're going to come out here and we're going to put these on end, and we are going to put them down just like that. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now what should happen is these should, instantly start pulling all of the stone. There we go. And if you watch, the ice is slowly going into our O2 generator and filling up there. So that's good. All right. Now, the one thing that we still need to do, and I always keep forgetting to do this, is build batteries. All right. So what I think we will do is call it a day there because we've gotten quite a lot done. We've gotten the start of our base inside the mountain going by starting to drill that out. We've got a little bit of a production facility set up outside to process all that stone, and what we will end up having to do is add even more large cargo containers to just handle all that stone. Now, if you remember what I was talking about, having all those refineries set up for stone, it's because of those drill and fills. They produce and grab a lot of stone, and so we're going to be having a lot of stone that we have to process. So we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 12 refineries just for stone, and then 3 refineries for all the other ore. That way we can process that as well. So if you enjoyed this episode, please definitely leave me a like. If you thought that I could do something to improve, or you have suggestions on what I might be able to do to add to my base so far, please make sure to leave me a comment, as I enjoy hearing from you guys. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more of this really awesome content. Until next time, stay frosty.